Hello and welcome to my Instagram TV and my podcast episode. I'm doubling up, babe. I am multitasking. Look, I'm recording a podcast episode and videoing an Instagram TV video. So I'm all over the shop. I wanted to talk to you about introducing reusable period pads to your teens. I get asked this quite a bit. In fact, I've been asked, how can I convince my daughter to use reusables with her period? And I think because quite often the mother might be proper on board with the idea, but it's trying to get that across in a way that the teenager is going to find it acceptable. We know these teenagers are very sceptical of change or of anything that's a little bit out there or anything that their mates aren't doing. And when I started Wear 'Em Out, I started with the intention of trying to talk to that younger market and educate that younger market in the importance of knowing what was in disposable products, the impact it was having not only on their physical health, but their planetary health. And I decided that actually that's a really tough gig because these teenagers, maybe they're not as open. I know they're very eco-curious now, so the environmental thing might make their ears prick up a little bit, but the idea of washing it out and things like that may be a step too far from them. And I am seeing that because I put out on my Instagram, what do people think of period parties? It's a big thing now in America to put on an actual party. I mean, I just think it's consumer bullshit like everything else, but they are celebrating with an actual party. And I put it out on my Instagram and was asking, what do you think of these period parties? Is it something that you would consider? And I had a lot of responses from people saying, no, I'm not really down for a party. That's quite exposing. It's quite full on. And my daughter would probably freak out, as would mine, no doubt. But I would love to have some kind of celebration around this momentous change in her life. Which I thought was really interesting because then it's like, how do we navigate those times with our daughters? My daughter is 16. She started a couple of years ago. I've always been very honest and open. But what I have learned watching her and learning from her is that we can lead, but we can't force. You know, I make reusable period pads and my daughter's still like, not sure I can go there. But and actually the biggest thing for her was, there's no way I'm doing it at school. Do not ask me to wear them at school. That is an absolute no for me. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not in the business of holding people down and judging them and berating them if they don't do it the way that I do it. That's all cool. But as parents or as women, grandparents, aunts, friends, I do feel that we are duty bound to pass on the information to our young girls so they can make informed choices. And like my daughter, she has all the information to hand, and she doesn't use reusables. We went on to disposable organics, but actually through conversation and me putting her on the Put a Cup in It website, she managed to do their little quiz that they have on there. They're a completely non-biased company that has all different menstrual cups on there, and you answer a little 2-minute quiz and they recommend the cup that they think would fit you, your body type, your circumstances, yada yada yada. And she chose a cup, and now she doesn't use pads at all because the cup is fine for her. She's loving the freedom of it, to be honest. But yeah, so I got to thinking about, you know, when people ask me this question, how do I bring this information to my teen without her freaking out, and what does she do with it at school and all of that? It just got me thinking about how we do talk to our young girls about anything to do with them growing up. The physical changes, the emotional changes, the hormonal shifts, the mental changes, the body shape changes. It's not just about what menstrual products should they use. That should be part of the conversation for sure, because it's about informing them, making sure they have informed choices around all the things that matter at that time. So when I was doing all this thinking about what would be really important for girls this age, learning about what's coming, making informed choices around what's available to them. And the teen gift box was created. So I put together a teen gift box which introduces the pads in a really kind of casual, non-judgmental, here's a new idea way. And in the box they get 2 medium pads, 2 mini pads. So it's not even like a full stock. We're going to chuck away all the disposables and you're not using disposables and tampons anymore. You're going to use this now. It's a really soft introduction to the reusables and opens that conversation where they can get touchy and feely with them. And this is the best advice I can give you and your girls, is just try a couple at home. Don't expect them to wear them to school. That is a huge ask by anybody's standards. If they willingly want to and have no issue with that, applaud that. But if it's going to be the barrier between them even trying it, don't force the issue. But the teen box is a really nice introduction to the pads because they can have a go of them. They can try them on their own. Just give it to them, tell them how to use them, tell them why it's an option. Let them just go off and try them on their own without any kind of big drama around it or period party. And then I got onto thinking, like I said, that actually it's not just, I wouldn't want to just introduce them to pads. There's so much more these girls need to be learning around this time. And the obvious choice to me was a book that encompassed everything that they may find useful around that time. A book that introduces conversations around hormones, periods, sex, mindset, body positivity, all of the issues that our young girls are trying to navigate right now. And that book is written by Bryony Gordon and it's called You Got This. And it is done in such a really casual, kind of on their level, no bullshit, no creepy pictures, just like, it's the book that I wish I'd had. And I bought it for my daughter when Bryony released it a year or so ago. We went to watch her talk. I took my daughter to go and watch Bryony talk about the launch of this book and what the book was about and why it's really important that this kind of information is accessible to our young women. And we took the book home and I was just like, oh my God, what I would have given to have had that book growing up. And again, it's not like let's sit together and read through the book together. It's you're giving them the gift box of have a little go of these pads. Nobody says you need to change everything up. Have a look at them, know that they're an option. Here's a book that is going to become like your teen Bible. Honestly, it's I don't have one to hand, otherwise I would be showing you, but they're all on the website. You can have on the website, it goes into quite a lot, it gives a good review of the book and you get a really good feel of it. So I thought it was really important that we add information in a really fun and light way that's easy for these girls to digest without feeling a bit weird that your mum's bought you this weird book and all of this. Just make it really light. I also put into the box a space mask and a chocolate bar because we need to teach our girls about self-care. Now, whether you're doing it via a gift box like we've created or whether you're just sitting and sharing with her your tools of self-care, but it's absolutely paramount that we have the conversations with our young women, the importance of self-care, the fact that it is not selfish. This is the biggest thing we need to get across. That actually, I went on my Insta the other day because I'd watched a YouTube video where it was explained to me that anybody who is judging you for taking time out for yourself and insinuating that you going off and doing your own thing is selfish, actually, they are the selfish ones because they would rather that you were tending to them than you tending to yourself. So that kind of blew my mind. But these are the conversations we need to be having with our girls to give them the grounding for adulthood, for the troubles that comes in adult life and all the challenges it brings. Teaching them self-care early on is vitally important. It's a huge part of parenting and educating and passing down, if you will, like passing the baton. I've also put a lip balm in the box because what teenage girl doesn't love a lip balm? So yeah, it's kind of like if you want to introduce your daughters to, or nieces or granddaughters or whatever, it's try and do it in a way. You can put your own gift boxes together if you want, why not? do it in a way where it's just all with suggestion. I mean, I don't know if my daughter's read the Bryony Gordon book. I don't sit over her and have you read the book? Have you read the book? Have you read the book? She has access to the book. She met Bryony Gordon and absolutely fell in love with her. She knows about self-care because I lead by example. And I think as older women, being part of raising younger women in whatever kind of relationship that looks like, and it's not just mothers and daughters, I'm well aware of that, in whatever relationship that looks like, we can lead by example and gently guide them to go off and explore it by giving them the books, or by giving them a little few self-care tools, or having the self-care conversation. So yeah, that's how I would suggest you talk to your young women. Just get them curious. I think it's like anything with teenagers. Don't tell them to do it, because they bloody won't. They'll go completely the opposite direction. But maybe just say, wow, this looks really interesting. Have a little think about that. Like, go and have a little go of that, see how you feel. I wonder what it's like to use a reusable pad. And, you know, just leave it really casual and really open. And maybe even if you want to lead by example, you could say, oh, I feel really weird wearing them out of the house. I'm not quite sure how to clean them when I'm out of the house. I'm not quite sure where I'll store them or any of that stuff. And if you do have those questions, by the way, go and look at my other Instagram TVs or my highlights, because there's loads of information on there. Frequently asked questions on the website. Maybe just say, how about we just swap them out at night? Or should we just wear them at the weekend and see how we get on? But understanding the why. So doing a bit of research around, again, on my website, there's loads of information about why environmentally we need to shift. And on my Instagram, I share quite openly about the physical damage that disposables are doing to our physical health as well. So yeah, you don't have to get all like confrontational and up in their face and judgy and bullyish. It doesn't even need to be like that, or try and push your agenda. They might not ever want to wear them, and that is also okay too. That is also okay too. We have to respect our young people, let them ultimately make the choices that they feel are best for them, because that's all part of learning. But yeah, so if you want to go and have a look at the team box, that is over on the website. And don't forget your newbie code if you sign up. You can get 10% off as well. But yeah, I think we're all duty bound to have these conversations, and where they go beyond there, only the young ladies will know. But have the conversations we must. So if you have any questions about this, please just drop me an email, drop me a message, and I can carry on the conversation. Either email me hello@wearemout.co.uk, or DM me over on the socials. I'm talking to the podcast now, but it's at Wear 'em Out Pads across Facebook and Instagram. And let's keep the conversations going. But I hope that has given you a little bit of insight into how to kind of introduce this whole new weird and wonderful concept in a way that hopefully it will be welcomed and considered by the next generation. So there you go. I am signing off from my Instagram TV now over here. Goodbye, my loves. I'm going to sign off over on my podcast over here. Multitasking at its best. And I'll catch you all again soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.